sun is just starting to climb up over the treetops. And it's gonna be a beautiful day, that's plain to see.
Welcome to Bill Dance Outdoors, America's most popular and longest running TV fishing show.
Now I've gone fishing with Bill Dance today.
The key to fishing a jerkbait, at least for me, has been water temperature, water clarity, length of pause, and cadence. I normally start catching bass on a jerkbait when the water temperature hits about the 60-degree range, close to key structural features, and find it to produce best in a clear water environment. Now, as far as the presentation goes, I work it fast in the high 50-degree range with more snaps and less sweeps. But as the water temperature drops on down into the low 50-degree range, I begin to work it much slower with soft sweeps, like a sweep, pause, and eliminate that snapping action. The pause now is critical, especially if you don't have a lot of patience. I normally wait 5, 6, 7, 8 seconds, sometimes a little bit longer, depending on the water temperature. And that is usually when the strike occurs. So if you've got patience in that cold water, just throw it. Once it hits, sweep it, pause, let it sit. Sometimes 5, 6, 7, 8, and I'll tell you, I have let it sit there as long as 10 to 15 seconds, and it'll drive you absolutely crazy. But all of a sudden, boom, you'll feel him hit it. Whoa, buddy. I knew you just had to be back in that hole. Okay, now we're going to do this, just catch you right there. Then we're going to reach right there. That a dandy. Huh? Nice one. Yeah, you get a lot more action with this bait. If you hold that rod tip and create about 14 inches of slack. All it is, like I say, is just wrist, eye, and rod tip coordination. Speaking of rods, here's one concerning rod lengths. I see all different rod lengths, 6 feet to 7.5 feet, and even longer. What's the right length? Choosing the proper length of a rod depends on the technique you plan to use it for, but it's also heavily influenced by personal preference. Shorter rods are generally lighter and easier to control, so they can be cast more accurately than longer rods. You see that? That's too crazy. I got him hooked from here to Yondersville. Look at this. You're talking about lassoed up. Whop. The original Rebel minnow was spawned in 1962, and the guy that invented it was George Perry, an avid angler himself. And you know, he was growing frustrated with other wooden and balsa lures of the day because they never seemed to run consistently. Now, George was very experienced in the plastic molding industry, so he thought he could make a lure out of plastic that would better replicate the look and action of a live minnow. Well, a long story becomes short when you realize it's been more than 50 years since the Rebel minnow was introduced, and it continues to be a favorite of both fishermen and fishermen alike. It's what we're going to be fishing with today, and a 5-inch long model that casts like a bullet. It's a multi-use bait that you can use as a twitch or a topwater bait on the surface, or a shallow running jerk bait below. By adding some suspending dots or suspending strips to make it into a jerk bait that you can run at greater depths. It has tremendous drawing power when other baits seem to fail, and can easily be cast on both either spinning or, say, bait casting like we're going to be using it today. The Rebel minnow is also a highly productive type bait that you can use as a fast or slow retrieve presentation. There's another one. You're about half crazy. Put the pole down. There we go. Said monofilament or fluorocarbon when you're jerkbait fishing in ice cold water. Well, that's a good question. Now, some anglers believe when water temps drop into the mid 50-degree range, mono is the ticket, simply because of the long pauses in your presentation that are often needed to tempt chilly water bass into biting. Now, fluorocarbon sinks when you suspend jerkbaits. Suspends basically motionless, and the fluorocarbon slightly begins to sink. And what it does, it tilts the nose of the lure down. Now, I personally like that, simply because I can achieve maximum depth throughout my retrieve. Think about it. After allowing the lure to sit motionless, the nose dips down and is always in a dive position to help it maintain depth. Plus, the fluorocarbon has greater density that helps the lure to run deeper as you work it back in. Ooh-wee. A pretty little fish. And look at my hand going into that mess of hooks. You think I'm crazy? No. I'm gonna go right up under that gill flap and catch that baby right there. Then reach in there like that and say howdy. And then say bye. Big one. Ooh. All right. I'll come right up here. I got you. It's twisted in there. Finally. Oh, hell. Got a fat one, isn't it? Toodaloo. You see those fish right here? Look. They're 20 feet from the boat right here. See them? See that one at 20 feet? That's a catchable fish right there. Let me tell you what gators love. Hey, buddy. I got it for you, don't I? They love it. It's me, The old T-boy. Look at him. Hey, I knew I was gonna get you to grin. I love that grin, baby. I got it, oh, boys. Do it. Hey, they do it every time.
Florida gators just love T-caps.